Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, I can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. Happy holidays to you and to our audience.
Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. This is our first time meeting. I'm Coach Jay. I've been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I'm here to share some of my experiences. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. Like I said, I'm here to share some experiences and help you become a better trader.
Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thanks for hanging out with us, even on what feels like a day before, like when you're in college and you're like, oh man, it's the day before Christmas break. You can't think about anything else. You just want to get out of here. But shout out to all of you being here. We won't keep you long. We do want to review the markets because there was a lot going on today. A lot going on, a bunch of markets making all-time highs. The metal markets continuing their Santa rally right now. So we should cover those, and then we'll get out of here so you can go get your last minute holiday shopping done. We had some numbers out today. Canadian GDP came in at 4.3%. Forecast was actually, nope, that's not true. Canadian GDP came in at negative 0.3%. Forecast was negative 0.3%. US GDP came in at 4.3%. Forecast was 3.3%. So much better than expected. US durable goods came out negative 2.2%. Forecast was negative 1.5%. And GDP price index came in at 3.8%. Forecast was 2.7%. We had an industrial production number come out in line with expectations, negative 0.1%. Consumer confidence came in a little lower than expected, 89.1 when the forecast was 91. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul, that we should talk about?
Well, the Baker Hughes oil rig count came out today.
Okay.
As expected. Other than that, no, the GDP number, the GDP number came out pretty strong. Once again, and I'm not getting into it, there's still people who question the number, but that's the number. As traders, we have to trade. So,
100%.
No other big headlines that I see. I think the headlines are done for the year, and we trade accordingly.
There you have it. Let's get into the markets then. There are 36 different markets we can trade here with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had the Russell down 0.66%, the live cattle down 0.7%, and micro Bitcoin, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 0.86%. To the upside today, silver making a new all-time high, up 4.42%. Platinum making a new high of the year, up 10.34%. And natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 11.35%. Some huge movers today across the board. I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we did not look at least take a look at that platinum chart. Again, up a 10% on the day. We talked about this one, how this market has just been a runaway market over the past 8 trading days. Up almost 40% in the last 8 trading days in platinum. It's pretty insane. I know everyone's focus is on silver right now, but look at this platinum chart compared to the silver chart. One of these things does not look like the other one, right? There are no pullbacks in that platinum market at all right now. That's a pretty crazy run to see. We were trading, in the 1600 handle a week ago, and we're at 2300 right now. Again, almost a 40% move in platinum, 10% of that being today. Metals are trending right now. The metals are trending. Why? I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons why. I saw something about the US dollar debasement trade where the dollar is on its lows of the year. And precious metals are seeing a little bit of a rise, but it could be a multitude of things, right? What we do know is that as a day trader, if you're buying these markets in good trade location, you're probably having a good time. Anything else you want to say on platinum?
Yeah, catch-up trade.
Yeah.
We talked all year. There was a time when platinum had a higher price than gold. and that ratio was insane. Gold, it was like 4-to-1 at one point.
Right.
That's why I call it the catch-up trade. You sell this, not
Yeah.
me. But my deep gut says dollar debasement.
Yeah.
It's the action has been in the metals all year.
All year.
Now it's spreading.
Yeah.
And silver, $72 silver.
70. What was the high today? The high of the day, 71,795. Silver up 4.38% on the day, and which would normally be the biggest percentage mover, but platinum 10% and natural gas 11%. It did snow this morning. And it was pretty cold, so we'll see.
Okay, one other thing, those are commodities.
Right.
So if there's a dollar debasement, commodities would show up in commodities, and we're seeing it. Metals, natural gas, and natural gas could be a relief, but it's an inflation trade. It's a lack of confidence in the U.S. dollar. But as day traders, we're looking for opportunities.
Commodities are presenting opportunities right now.
Commodities are presenting opportunities.
Yes, they are. Let's talk about our big. I took natural gas out of the big five yesterday, and it hurt me. And I said, "Watch this, 11% for you." But we had crude oil up 0.79%, S&P up 0.4%, gold up 1.13%. Natural gas we talked about up 11.25%, and the Nasdaq up 0.47% on the day. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq chart on a daily. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
Well, we had a nice, what I'll call ring the bottom, and recently breaking out 4 or 5. This is 4 days in a row of new highs. It's a generally friendly chart. But we'll see. We hit it's small ranges in the last 2 days, which is expected in a holiday, but it's not breaking. And considering what's happening in the metals and other commodities, a pretty impressive hold.
Yeah.
I still think a trend line coming from the highs and the most recent highs is probably where we're sitting. That high is, to me, is not an impressive high. It's a high to be broken. Maybe we do that in the beginning of the year. But there's the trend line. We got a shot at breaking that trend line, and onward and upward.
Yes, we do. What I'm seeing, that October 10th candle, we had to test it one more time. We tested the high of it today. 23,635 quarter is the high of that candle. Low of the day today was 25,608. So we tested into there. We talked about this during the opening call. Price can trade in there, but if no volume does, then that's where the buyers have been stepping in, and that's where they stepped in the past 2 days. Today was pretty much just a range-bound day up until the end. We had a little bit of a rally up above 25,800s, but it's a range day. It was a range day. Lower extreme of that range was the high of that candle. VWAP was pretty much flat all day, so maybe find a place to buy it or find a place to sell it, but know where the extremes of the range are for expectations for the outcomes of those trades. I don't really have too much outside of that in the Nasdaq.
No, and it was not an easy trade.
No, it wasn't.
It traded both sides of the opening few minutes. There you go. Tell me this is an easy trade. It didn't. It price broke. Look at the size. What was the size of that opening 3 minutes?
It was the range for the entire day, pretty much. It was almost 100 points, 99.75. About.
And it was the heaviest volume of the day, but so it favors ownership.
Mm-hmm.
It was bigger risk than I'm willing to take. So I stepped aside, but it did have a nice rally, which they should do. But looking at the volume, it was just smaller and smaller volume as the day went on, which is an expectation
Yep,
of a holiday market.
100%.
Nice rally.
Really nice rally. Shout out to Dakota, who got in long. He was long before fast markets, held through this entire move, the whole round trip, but felt the support down here. And again, it happened in the area of, especially during fast markets, it happened in the area of that October 10th candle. Came down, no selling, flat VWAP pretty much all day across the board, full session and New York session. Range bound market, holiday markets, quiet markets just drift up, and that's kind of what we got after the initial craziness. Do a quick run through the other equity markets. Looking at the Russell, a little heavy today, a little bit of a pullback. Anything you got on the Russell?
Nothing. It was a dog today.
Yeah.
It really didn't do much. I lost $50 trading it. It felt good about it, but look at that. I mean, look at that opening range.
Right. Another one just stuck in the middle. Never really left that range. What you?
So
Yeah.
when
Go
we
ahead.
talk about don't trade holiday markets, this is what we're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People, there is no direction in it. It's I'll call a participation day. Markets are open doesn't mean they have to be directional, or even in this market we didn't even have flat. It was dead.
We talked about it earlier, right? When we were on earlier, we said if I'm not willing to trade this like a range bound market, I have to walk away.
Yes.
And the reason is not really much of a trend. Even in the Nasdaq, right, where it eventually did move up, it wasn't much of a guarantee. And is anything really a guarantee in the markets? But you could see I had a trailing personal daily loss limit. I did try to short up here because I thought it was a range day. So, you know, it very well could have fallen right back into this range, but you got to remember holiday markets just grind up. So manage your risk on this, but really no direction until the end of the day. We'll take a quick look at the S&P, very similar to the Nasdaq. Actually, no, it's not. A lot cleaner than the Nasdaq. Started that run earlier. S&P is just a nice market.
Well, it's 500 stocks.
Right.
Well, it's just a little harder to manipulate it. And once again, trade what fits your personality.
Right.
There's no, to me, there's no right or wrong place. It's just a place that you're comfortable in executing.
100%. Leaders only 60 says, very good day. Got in today off the open after the news. Longest trade I had ever held for 6 hours, caught 165 points on a day. It was about 213 points from full day in the Nasdaq. That's a great trade. Way to hold too. If you got in off the open and you held for 6 hours, you held through that drawdown. That's a very similar trade to Dakota was in. But that's what I call conviction in that trade, right? And holding on to it. And you had a game plan, you traded your game plan, and it worked out. So really nice job there. Really nice job.
More than I was willing to take.
Same.
But if we said Dakota will be the first to say it, he's a natural born bull. I put it into the fact that stocks are designed to go up.
Right.
And he's really good at holding when he's got a conviction. Just didn't have what I was looking for.
No trade. No trade. Taking a look at gold here. Gold, another market that made new all-time highs, 45, 30, 80. New all-time high in gold. What are you seeing here on a daily?
Well, they all-time high in a smaller range. It actually traded like a holiday market, but it was a little violent.
It was. Yeah, this daily doesn't tell the intraday story at all.
Yeah, you look at that daily and you're like, oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Well, let's go see, as we're all of us at Topstep are day traders. Let's see how easy that was. So starting last night,
Last night it was kind of clean. I took a trade during slow markets last night with Dakota. I got in long, looking for a breakout of these highs, and I took the trade off. I could maybe go over that one a little bit. I went over it during slow markets, exactly why I got into that trade. If you want to see how I kind of bought up at these highs, uh, it looked like a breakout was starting, but then it failed. Like you said, Coach Paul, it made a new all-time high last night, and it traded a lot the rest of the day. And if you were looking for that breakout again, there's some aggressive moves in this market. Some urgency last night though. Price and volume left that range to the upside pretty early. Nice support, and just a clean push up here. But after that, VWAP flattens out, and
VWAP flattened out, and how many hours? I think it was 6 hours. We were after we made that high. Now, if we look at and there it is, the volume point of control, flipped to the high and didn't move. And what I found interesting is that held into a range until the half hour settled under VWAP. And then we had the cascade.
yeah,
And this doesn't do justice to the size of that move.
we'll go to a shorter time frame because it was aggressive. Here's the open. We didn't take the opening range trade today. In hindsight, probably should have taken the opening range trade today. The reason we didn't take it is felt like a lot of risk. One of the things that we added to taking the opening range trade is waiting for a candle to close outside the range for confirmation. In this case, we would have been getting in about $9 lower than the low of the opening range. Normally, and again, you don't get to choose it. Maybe we could change our criteria a little bit, but felt like a lot of risk because the risk has to go on the other side of the range, and that's risking at least $18 in gold. But when you take the risk, sometimes you get that $18 back in very short order. We saw some aggressive selling coming into this market. Really nice sell-off into the lows. We traded through settlement, which was at 44.69. And we talked about this. Gold does this thing where it'll make an all-time high and then sell off $70, $80 in an hour just because it needs to pull back. Really aggressive sell-off there. And then I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I'm going to ask our audience, what happened at the low?
Great question.
Does someone define what happened at that low on the 5 minute?
Who's still around, who's still hanging out with us and paying attention, maybe even caught this move. What happened at that low there?
I wasn't willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
But it was there.
Thinks
So
it's
we'll
urgency.
Aaron.
Aaron got it. Courtney got it.
Courtney got it.
We're looking at a 5 minute here. And the reason I'm on a 5 minute is because we look at that 5 minute opening range trade. That low was the highest volume highest volume 5 minute candle of the day. Wasn't a lot of urgency by the dip, Naomi, right? Wasn't a ton of urgency to leave this range. And we talked about this one, Coach Paul. That might have been the reason we didn't take it. Because it took a little bit, right? It was, this candle prints, and you're talking about another 25 minutes before a signal, or 35 minutes before a signal. And a lot of times when we see it take that long, it doesn't end up being a great trade.
Well, yeah. And also why I didn't take it, how much risk was there? Now, in hindsight, yeah. 22, I think it was $22.
Yeah, about that. About 24.
24. So on a micro, it's 240 per contract.
Right.
2,400 on a big. There's no one here trading big gold with confidence. If in a 5 minute chart you can lose $2,400, which is very possible.
Yeah.
But a micro, I wasn't willing to do it. I just didn't. Now, hindsight is the wisdom of fools. Yeah, I should have taken a trade, but we go into the principles. I wasn't willing to risk that. And it
Yeah.
ended up being a decent trade. It didn't get to 2-1. It came close. Almost made new highs on the
Yeah.
day.
Insane. Insane.
Now we talk about buying the dip. Buying the dip is, and we talk about it. It looks easy when you're looking backwards, but in
Right.
the moment you have to make that decision. But this was a classic J trade.
Mm-hmm. We see some
Why?
people in
It
the.
made the low.
Yeah, go ahead.
It had the highest volume. It was against the trend. Who caught that?
So I see Aaron in the chat says, I took it, but I was a mess and didn't hold because I was also thinking initial balance extension down. And then H Truth says, I took it and exited for $1 profit because I was scared. Right now, the question is, that's a lot of risk, right? And we've talked about this before. Just because the setup is valid, if you can't take the risk, it's not your trade. Even if it is valid, if you're trading the smallest size and you're not comfortable with that risk, then that just means that's one that you have to pass up, right? It's a dangerous game where you say, okay, you know what, let me go down to a 1 minute chart because then that'll lower the risk. Because now I'm looking for timeframes to validate my trade idea, and at some point you need to keep things consistent. If I go to a 1 minute chart, it's not the highest volume, but if I mark out the one that made the low, maybe I can go from there. But then that means I have to change my entire strategy to trade 1 minute charts. Right? If I use a 5 minute, I got to stick with the 5 minute and what that gives me. And if that's too much risk, it's too much risk. One of the things you can do as an point of invalidation, but what we want to try to avoid is loss avoidance. Right? One of the things you can do is maybe you anchor to the candle that closed outside, and that's your frame of reference for the trade. Could do that, right? If that VWAP leaves the range, then this is my leaves the range. This is my frame of reference, and now my risk goes on the other side. That's an option, but that's a trade management decision, and again, that's a lot of variance in decision making. Right? We want to try to keep our decision making to a set amount of rules, but that would be one way that I could think about taking this trade. Full transparency, I did not think of that until right now. So at least in the moment, I didn't think that I had that option. But that's like a, quarterback snaps the ball, coach ball. He's looking for the receiver down the field, but all of a sudden it's double coverage. So I got to throw the check down. Maybe I could take the trade that way, but that's a lot of risk.
There is a lot of risk,
right?
But and when we talk about the principles of successful and consistent winners in trading, there's the 7. When we talk to predefine the risk, number 3, completely accept the risk or let it go.
Right.
It's a principle. Now, if you decided, well, I will tell you this, $220 in a micro and a gold.
Yeah.
At what price are we at? 4,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely reasonable.
Right.
When it was 2,000, probably not so reasonable. I'm just talking about the relativity.
Right.
But I wasn't willing to do it. Now, it didn't trade to a 2-1. And that's how volatile this market is.
Yeah.
So, really coming back to, if you're going to trade gold, you're going to put some money on the table. It's
100%.
no longer, it's like, this is in a casino, this is the big boys club.
Yeah.
Or girls, I'm on it.
There is no risk-free market. There's no risk-free trade.
Yeah. Speaking of no risk-free, what's that you're about to hit?
Probably the most volatile market that we have out there right now. There is a ton of opportunity in this market. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Baron. Killing the silver market right now, trading it really well. And we talked about this on Slow Markets. When was that? Wednesday or Thursday last week? I was on with Baron. I'm going to start looking at silver because it's moving. He did the same thing when he switched over from trading Nasdaq to gold, and found a market in gold that when he switched over to it was presenting a one directional opportunity. And that's kind of what silver is doing right now. Are there pullbacks in silver? Absolutely. Are those pullbacks, or do those pullbacks right now just look like better opportunities to get in long? 100%. This is another trending market. We do see these down days, but none of them are closing lower than the prior day's low. This is just an extremely strong market on a daily. Anything you want to comment on the daily here?
Oh, wow. This was a big range.
Yeah.
It not only made all-time highs, it had a huge range. What was the range? It was like $2 to $3.
$3. 4.4%. Yeah. Yeah. The higher we go, the more those percentage moves mean too.
Yeah. And you tell me, right here, you want to jump in front of this train by selling it?
Nope.
I don't. I'm looking for places to get cheap longs. But once again, what is a cheap long in silver?
Yeah, even one micro. Even one micro is a lot.
So let's just look at we had some random, but we'll go from the opening last night. Stayed in the range. Had some new lows made with wicks. Hardly impressive to get short.
Yeah.
If you got short today at any point, good on you if you made money.
Yeah.
And when we look at that daily, it looks easy.
Another one that it was not easy.
And I'll go back to this. This is not an easy game.
No.
But we see certain setups. Two things. VWAP never left the downside. What does that mean? There was ownership.
Yeah. And with the way that this market has been trading, these extensions to the downside, right? Because you could see it both ways, right? If you look at it this just for a day trade, flat VWAP means range bound market. So if I'm going to trade it like a range, right, I could sell up here as well. But if I don't have reasonable expectations for those shorts, we do have to keep the higher time frame picture in mind. And this could be okay. It's a range trade, but I'm only taking one side of that range trade, right? And taking the longs, because this price trading under here, Coach Paul, with no volume, that was like the clearest sign of a lack of conviction from sellers to trade this market lower. They just let price trade lower for a little bit.
We're talking about relativity,
right?
Even when we made that new low,
yep,
VWAP was still outside the opening range.
Mm-hmm.
And when we just talked about the gold, there was nothing in the gold. You had to risk that range. I didn't feel like risking that range. Here in silver, even on a micro, you could have bought it. We got stopped out.
Yeah.
This is in the present. That's like a dollar move to the downside on that. In what? An hour and a half?
From here?
Yeah.
That's a $2 move.
Oops.
That is a $2 move.
That's $1,000 on a micro.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is real stuff. You don't, when going back is understanding what you can afford and can't afford. I'm almost to a point in the metals now. Nano contracts are coming.
Right. If we're going to keep moving like this, right, and just no. Right. After a nano, it's a no. It's just a no trade.
It's a no.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a runaway market. And like I said, this reminds me of when I first started in 1980. I was 18 years old, and silver went from I was never there when it was trading $5 an ounce, and all of a sudden it was trading $40 to $50 an ounce. 10 times. This is starting to feel like it.
Yeah.
So a great opportunity in silver, but even then, you might not be able to afford even micros to play this game. That isn't a hiccup. That's the truth. Like I said, $3. Did you say $3 move in an hour and a half?
$2.
$2. So goes back. What's the ATR
On a 30-minute?
Yeah.
At that time, it was about $0.50.
So that's the risk. Trading silver, 50 cents.
Expensive.
It's $250 on a micro in a half an hour. Now, whatever you're trading, you trade a 3-minute, but we've talked all year about sizing correctly.
Yep.
If you were trading 3 micros 2 months ago, your risk has probably been triple what it used to be.
Right.
Understand that when you're in trading. Now, did we get a J trade here?
Kind of. It wasn't exactly at the low. If you look at a 5-minute, if I look at a 3-minute, it's a little closer. If I look at probably a 1-minute, yeah, it's around there. It's not the highest volume, wasn't exactly at the low, but same concept. We had almost, if it wasn't for this one, it was this one. Yeah, very similar trade to gold here. It took a little while to close outside, but once it did, another one where and this one made all-time highs after that move. So really nice trade there in silver. Really nice trade there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at the energies, and then we are going to get out of here. Crude oil. I'm kicking myself on this one a little bit. I bought crude oil yesterday. I bought crude oil last night. I cut the trade for scratch.
You did?
I did. I bought it at 57.
You said you weren't going to trade this for the rest of the year.
I did say that. Damn, the year's not over yet. My calendar got messed up. I did say that though. But I cut the trade, so I guess I can't be that upset. I cut the trade for scratch. I bought it at like 57.98, and I cut it at, I think, at 57.96, 57.97 or something like that. It looked like a good trade though, man. Crude oil is going back up to $60 is what I see. Maybe I should have just called you and let you take this one for me.
No, I know that's it.
Yeah.
You. What did you see? I mean, I have this in my spidey senses say, buy the fuck out of crude.
Yeah. Yeah.
$55 has been met. 54, I think it was, just under it.
Yep.
End of the year, Saudis are going to continue to overproduce. I don't, it just now. With that, that's one thing, but let's frame this out. They had a beautiful rally.
Sorry, go ahead. You were on the daily.
Yeah. It still hasn't broken the trend line. It's not over the 200.
Yeah, to me, it just looked like a decent range trade, especially after yesterday. We were making highs on the close. We got above the 200, the 20-day moving average. And it was sitting at, so I saw a couple of things that I did like in this trade. And when did I take it? You know why I cut this trade? Because I took it at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I should not be trading at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, why were you up at 3 in the morning?
I have no idea. I just woke up randomly, middle of the morning. I woke up and I'm like, huh. And then, I did my normal morning process still, right? Where I wake up, I don't look at my phone. I go through, my whole set the tone for the day process. And then my mind started to get to the charts. And I said, wait, I'm awake during the London Open, which we've been saying crude oil moves during the London Open. So should I take a
Yeah.
look at it? So I took a look and it looked like a decent trade. But then, some clarity might have hit me. And I said, why am I trading at 3 o'clock in the morning? It wasn't an urgency trade. It didn't show up to be an urgency trade at all. So I'm happy I cut it. It just happens that the one time I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's not an urgency trade in crude oil. So I cut it. May have even stopped me out on this little move lower. But the end of the day price action is what I was kind of expecting here. Trade back up to 58.50s and just continue to slow grind to the upside. But yeah, cut it for a scratch.
Well, all right. One thing you recognized, there was no urgency, there was no edge to what you were doing. Eventually, it played out.
Right.
But we talk about this when we're trading together. Am I executing a plan, or
Right.
am I just trying to be active?
Right.
The more you trade and the more that develops discipline, the more you have, the less you have of what we call marginal trades. At one point, that you just defined it was a marginal trade.
Very marginal. Yeah, very marginal. It could have worked out, but was it worth repeating that setup? And that's where it's a no.
Was there a J trade there at the lows?
No.
No,
Didn't make the low, not on the 30.
not, not clean.
No, not clean.
And it's typical of crude oil right now.
Yeah, it's just not a clean market. It had to be a clean setup for me to hold. And again, that is the goal. Execute what has a potential for a higher return. High potential for a return. Not a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee. But if I took what I thought was an 80% setup in the Nasdaq and I lost money, I'm good. If I take what it looks like a 40% setup in crude oil and I lose money, it's not worth the money that I could have made if that trade works out, because over time, making that shitty setup is going to take money from me more than it's going to pay me. I have to keep that in mind. When I was on with Dakota, we're going to get out of here soon. Dan Trader, you have a good one. We're going to get out of here soon. But when I was trading with Dakota last night on slow markets, somebody in the chat came in there. Hey, Jay, take a trade for us. And Coach Paul, I scanned 10 different markets and I did not see a setup. I'm like, I want to take something, but my rule, I have to remove the marginal trades for myself. If I take them, they ruin my trading day, right? So I have to be very conscious of the quality of the trade setup that I'm taking. Again, it's not a guarantee that the trade is going to work. I'm not trying to avoid losses. I'm just trying to accept that my losses are going to come from something that I can trust, because then I don't get upset when I miss, right? If, when we said this earlier, using a basketball analogy, if I'm a right-handed shooter and I shoot the ball with my left hand, there's a percentage of time that I'm going to make it. But if I rely on that, like what am I doing here? Like relying on blind luck. And I just want to try to get away from doing that completely, because then you trade a lot clean. You probably trade a lot less, but trade a lot cleaner in that case. And I think that could be a focus for a lot of people. Again, we're not trying to avoid losses. We're just trying to avoid shitty decisions.
And I would say for 2026, the biggest thing to do is eliminate those marginal trades.
Yep.
Go back and look at your returns and see that those biggest losses are coming from the marginal trades.
Yep.
Because then those are the ones where we feel like I have to do something to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eliminating those is an instant gain.
Yep.
That's my theme for 2026.
100%. There were a lot of times today where I was sitting exactly like you're sitting right now. Just hands folded. I'm just going to sit here and look, and market, you have to show me something for me to unfold my hands. If not, I'm going to sit just like this, because I don't need to just give money away. All right, we'll take a look at natural gas and we'll get out of here. It just rallied. What a move. Anything you want to say here?
I've been waiting for it.
Mm.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, there was a false breakout.
Yeah.
But we're still under the 200. Seems to me we had a relief rally after that. What was it? 20%
30% sell off.
And that's the nature of natural gas.
Yep.
Now you can look at that right now and go, fuck, I missed it.
Yeah.
Let's see if there was an opportunity defined by the way we look at things.
So there was, and we talked about this one a little bit yesterday. Again, natural gas, if I'm going to trade natural gas, I'm probably not trading it before 6 a.m. Eastern time. What happens in the overnight session is just very random, in my opinion. If it sends some urgency early, then that means there's something that's going on in that market that needs to be traded right away. If not, I'm better suited just waiting for the volume to come in. That's usually around 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern time every day. Outside of that, I'm completely ignoring what happened in the overnight session because nothing happened in the overnight session. But we can see.
I'm glad you brought that up. Look at the 8 o'clock half hour.
8 o'clock Eastern time
last night. Central time last night.
Central time.
What was the volume? Right. Go back one more.
8 Central or Eastern?
Central.
All right, that's this one right here.
All right. What was the volume?
124 contracts
in a half an hour.
There's nobody trading that.
Understand when we talk volume, that means that 100 some kind. So cut that in half between buyers and sellers.
Yeah,
that means nothing.
The only person with an advantage there is the person who can come in, market order 50 contracts in their direction, and just get out of the trade right away. And they got to be careful. Because if there's not enough liquidity to take the other side of your trade, you're back to break even or worse.
So you talked about, let's see what happens when the volume comes in, which is about 7 o'clock, 6:30 Central Time.
Here's 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, where it started to pick up today. And that's where the move started, right? And trade the market when the market's moving, right? I could hope that something's going to happen, or I could confirm that something is happening and then try to get into that trend. And right around that time is where the volume starts to pick up. We held view up for the day. And you have a much cleaner direction because there's continued flow in this market. When you have to hope, and if you saw that gold trade last night, I said, I have to get out of this trade. It was a momentum trade. In the word momentum trade, there has to be momentum. If there's no momentum, there's no trade. So I have to get out. And you put yourself in better favor for a momentum trade to continue when you do it during a high volume time. And that momentum stayed the rest of the day. All of these 30-minute candles above the average volume, and some really nice continuation. I'm curious if anyone caught this natural gas move, any piece of the natural gas move in the chat. But this was a really nice trend trade, and I think one that maybe we see a nice little run again here. We'll see.
We'll see. But quite a trade. What was it up today? 4%?
11.15%. So silver was up 4%.
That was it.
Silver, 11% in natural gas. Our biggest percentage mover to the upside today. Just beat out platinum, up 10.81%. Sleepy Mocha says, I always lose on natural gas, but lucky me, I caught it today. Try to define the market that you're looking for. The one thing I can say about natural gas is it moves so much percentage-wise, you don't have to try to be early to the move. You can let it define a direction and then try to get into that direction. It's when I try to predict where it's going to go that it can go very wrong, because if you're on the wrong side and you're predicting, then you have a market that's against you 4, 5, 6%. Hopefully you stop out before you get there. But, just got to be careful.
All right.
All right. I think that is it Elite Trader says, any payouts lately? When was the last time I took a payout? I think it was 2 weeks ago. How was my trading this year? Mixed. Uh, it was not great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was mixed. There was a lot of stuff. Nothing has changed this year based, strategy wise, nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is eliminating garbage trades, right? Like eliminating the marginal trades that we talked about. If I eliminated those and I reviewed, just my process over the year, what made this year the year it was marginal trades and lack of patience. So now, again, I'm very comfortable sitting with my arms folded until the market presents a great opportunity to me. If it doesn't, and I take a trade, I'm making a conscious decision to accept the randomness. Coach Paul, we were talking earlier, and we said random results are a scary place to be because you don't know what to replicate. And one of the things that came out of that conversation, maybe we'll put this on a shirt, but randomness multiplied is a very scary thing.
Yes, you did say I love that.
Exponential randomness is scary. And you might be wondering what that means, chat. If I take a random entry and get a random result, what am I doing? I have no idea.
You're trading luck.
Seriously.
And there's two sides to the luck coin. When we hear luck, what do we think? Winnings. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's another side of that coin. Bad luck.
Yep.
You're not executing a plan. You're just, I call it that randomness is just trying to make money, which is understandable.
Oh, yeah. We're all trying to make money at the end of the day.
But it has to be, you have to find an edge, execute the edge. Over time, you have a high probability to win.
Yep.
What you just described is a high probability to lose.
And not just to lose, of failure, right? Because if that's your process, I'm just going to take a random trade every day. That's not just losing. You're going to lose a hell of a lot. And that's just not where we want to be. But removing the randomness. And the thing is, and why we say, you want to try to rely on something high probability, because even if I take, like I said, what I think is an 80% probability trade, that one decision, the outcome is still potentially 50-50. It's either going to win or it's going to lose. So got to keep as many things constant as possible. And that's what we'll try to continue to do. And we'll share it. We'll share results, and we'll go from there. Anything else, Coach Paul, you got before we get out of here?
Yeah. Trade your plan your trade for 2026. Make it a point to eliminate the marginal trades. Have a great holiday. We'll talk to you soon. But coming into the new year, I know it's my goal is get out of the marginal trades, execute a plan. That's it.
Awesome stuff. SJR says, thank you, Coach Paul, for all you did for me this year. Thank you all for joining. We know, check your Topstep email. It'll give you, markets are going to be some weird hours over the next couple of days. You can trade, but you want to make sure you read that email just so you are trading in the windows that are allowed for your accounts. SJR was in your VIP in January. But trade well, everybody. If you do continue to trade, if you don't, enjoy some time off the charts, whatever your plans are for the holidays, whichever holiday you celebrate. Happy holiday, everyone. I'm excited to get a couple of days off the charts, off the markets, and come in with a fresh mind. We will be back on TopstepTV on Friday, full day Friday for TopstepTV. But the next 2 days we will be off. The live stream will be open. If you miss us that much, they'll be doing like a little recap of 2025 on TopstepTV, so you can watch that. But go enjoy some time off the markets. We deserve it. And we will see you all soon. I believe Coach Hoop is doing his class in Discord still. But then after that, go enjoy yourselves. Fast markets for Coach Hoop on Friday. Oh, man. I'm going to ask if they have an extra seat. I'm going to play Hogue spot. Coach Hoop is doing his class, so make sure you join him there. Coach Paul, great stuff as always. Coach Hoop, thank you for helping us moderate this thing and chat. Thank you all for hanging out on a Friday, synthetic Friday. Today's not Friday. Today's not Friday at all. Coach Hoop, trade cattle on fast markets. All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye. Happy holidays.
We'll see you soon.